We'll make our way into a seated position. We're taking the next 4 breaths just to allow yourself to really settle into your space. So nice, slow, full inhale through your nose, lengthening, expanding and filling through the body. And for the first exhale, just let everything release as you let go, all the muscles sink down. The second breath, inhale. And this time when you exhale, just bringing a little more contraction through the body as you squeeze through the chest and lungs, perhaps even beginning to draw the navel back towards the spine. 2 more breaths. So this morning, the elements outside, the exterior elements, are really playing into the theme as we have a heart-themed class, and air being the element of your heart. And we're going to start to work into opening through the heart with a little bit of a chi movement through the body, and that is the finger fan. So we're reaching the arms out at your shoulder height with the palms turned up. And we'll start with the pinky finger, curling that in towards the hands. The ring finger follows, the middle, the index, thumbs wrapping over the fingers, fists begin to curl as your elbows bend. Fists draw all the way into the shoulders. You inhale, elbows lift high to the sky, turning elbows towards the sides of the room, and as you exhale, unfurl and press your palms out to the sides. And then turning the palms back to up. Starting with the pinky finger, curling everything all the way back in towards the hands, thumbs wrapping over the top, fists curl, elbows bend, inhale, elbows high to the sky, turning them forward, exhale, pressing out. We'll do that one more time, palms up, fingers curling in, all the way in, inhale, elbows high, exhale to the side, palms turning up. Pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, fist curl in, elbows bend, elbows high. Exhale forward. Turning your palms to face up. Your heart meridian line, which travels from the heart across the shoulders all the way through the inside seam of the arm to your pinky fingers. And we're going to work with a little bit of building some chi through the body. So we do that by bringing the hands back towards the heart, a small gap between the palms of the hands, and we just gently pulse them in and out until you might feel that magnetic energy start to build. So it's almost like you're trying to press magnets towards each other. You get that repelling or that sort of negative pressing away effect. So the palms never quite touch, but there is something there building between them. You can feel that as you pulse it in and out or slide around. Let's do that for the next 2 breaths. So that energetic flow that begins to build through the palms of the hands we take to the heart. Right hand resting on the heart, left hand over the top. So nursing your masculine into your feminine. And then we're folding forward into child's pose, reaching your arms out along the mat. Option whether you'd like to take the knees wide or if you prefer them closer together. Eva activation here, so knees wide would give your spine a little extension, opening through the front of the heart, whereas knees together would open through the back of the heart. Start to open through the side of the body, wandering your hands over to the right side of the mat. You can even weave the left fingers here between the fingers of your right hand and start to walk the right hand further to the side and forward. Creating length and opening through the left side of your ribs, almost like you're creating space for your heart to shine out through the heart side of your body. With the next inhale, hands work their way back through center, and on the exhale, walking them over to the left. Here, the left hand reaching out, perhaps bringing the right fingers between the fingers of the left hand as it continues to walk forward and to the side. Hands making their way back to center. Fingers spread wide as we lift up into tabletop. We'll take 4 rounds through cow and cat. Option to keep the tops of the feet flattened, or maybe you prefer to tuck your toes. With the inhale, tailbone high to the sky, extending through the spine. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart forward. And as you exhale, tucking the tailbone, belly button draws in, chin to chest as you round and arch, pressing your heart high to the sky. If you'd like to build Ujjayi breath from here as you inhale, constricting through the throat, filling from the depths of the body all the way to the lungs. As you exhale through your nose, tucking and drawing the belly button all the way into the spine. 2 more rounds. One more time through. If your toes aren't already tucked, we'll tuck them underneath and beginning to press the hips back into downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths here, pedaling out through the legs. But as you're creating that pedaling on length through the backs of your legs, we're going to work on lengthening and strengthening through the upper torso, through the upper body. The fingers are spread wide and there's even weight through the hands, fingertips, knuckles and palms. And keep pressing the floor away as you begin to melt your heart through the arms. Now to create that sort of opening through the upper body, if that means that heels stay lifted and knees slightly bent in downward facing dog, that's fine. Just working with that and then maybe beginning to work with the breath to create even more length and perhaps just gently working on the heels pressing back to the back of the mat. Neck is completely relaxed, crown of your head dropping down. We'll hold for 1 more breath in. And exhale. Floating right leg high to the sky as you breathe in. And stepping the right foot through between your hands as you exhale. Left knee lowers to the mat, toes stay tucked, arms sweeping high to the sky, breathing in. Belly button draws in as you cactus the arms, elbows and shoulders draw back. On the inhale, reaching your arms out wide to the sides of the room. And on the exhale, bringing the hands to the front of the body. So extend it out in front, palms pressed together. Inhale, draw the prayer back towards your heart. Exhale, belly button to spine, twisting gently towards the right. Take a breath in. If you'd like to use the hands, we can bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand to the back of the hips to square them up. Take another breath in. And exhale. Breath in. Exhale. Release the gaze to the front of the room and allow the body to follow. Hands grounding. And then we work into another element of the theme of this class, which is basically working in postures that simulate giving ourselves a nice big hug and squeeze. So there's some binds and some interesting twists in here this morning. I'm going to first start to work the left knee in towards the middle of the mat, flattening the top of the foot down, and cross your right leg over the top. So we're taking like a tabletop eagle bind through the legs. And then we start to sink the hips back towards the heels, basically in a bound leg child's pose. 3 breaths here. Come back into tabletop. We're tucking both toes and then pressing back into a cross-leg downward facing dog. So what will happen here, the left leg which is behind is going to get a little more sensation of that lengthening through the back of the hamstring as we gently press hips back, keeping that length and activation through the upper body. We'll take another 2 breaths. So we can keep the right foot exactly where it is as you float your left leg high to the sky, and then stepping the left foot through between the hands. So this time, right knee lowers to the mat, toes stay tucked as you inhale, arms sweeping to the sky. Belly button drawing in as you cactus the arms, elbows and shoulders draw back. Inhale, reach out to the sides of the room. Exhale, sweep the arms forward, pressing palms together. Breath in, draw the prayer to heart, lift the chest. Exhale, belly button draws in, twisting to the left. Hold for an inhale. If you'd like to use the hands for assistance, right hand to the knee, left hand to the hips. Take a breath in, and twist, and breathing in, and twist. Releasing your gaze first, and then allow the body to follow, hands coming back down to the mat. This time the right leg makes its way to the middle of the mat, flatten the tops of the foot down, and then we'll cross the left leg over into that bound leg child's pose position for 3 breaths. Coming back to a tabletop, toes tuck, and pressing back, cross leg downward facing dog. This time the right leg will be behind the left. From here, right leg floats high to the sky, right foot steps through between the hands. Left foot follows into ragdoll, bending into the knees, dropping forward over the legs, either allowing the hands to dangle or take hold of your elbows and sway from side to side. Hands releasing down to the mat, belly button drawing in as you start to roll up through each vertebrae all the way into your mountain pose Tadasana. Head and shoulders rising last, big sweep of the shoulders forward to the ears, drawing back and sliding down the ribs. We're just checking that we have the core activation of the hips just gently pressing forward. Navel just slightly draws in and the lower rib tucks. Arms by your side, palms face forward, arms then sweep up and overhead, palms press gaze to thumbs. We'll take a swan dive for our forward fold. So the arms open wide. Lead with the heart, hinging from the hips, straight legs all the way down into Uttanasana. 3 breaths in Uttanasana. The first breath pressing through the feet, lift the hips high to the sky, and as you exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine. The next inhale, think about the heart lifting forward and towards the big toes, and as you exhale, relaxing your neck, allow the crown of the head to drop down. Last breath in, shift the hips forward, and as you exhale, dropping into your Uttanasana. Half lift, lengthen the spine, roll your shoulders back, and keep the body traveling forward, even weight through the feet, all the way to the tips of the toes. Hold it for an exhale, take another breath in, and then bringing hands down to the mat, we'll step the right foot back, left foot back, into high plank, tucking, so that's similar activation to your Tadasana, maybe a little bit more of a cat shape through the lower body as we flex through the abdomen, draw the hips forward, and protracting through the shoulders. That means pressing the heart up between the shoulder blades. Lower the knees to the mat, chest and chin coming to the mat, and sliding your heart all the way across the earth into baby cobra, tops of the feet flatten, hips to the floor, belly button in, shoulders rolling back, lifting the heart forward, holding on the exhale. Take another breath in. Big toes together to touch, knees nice and wide, hips all the way back into child's pose on the exhale. Then hips lift, toes tuck, or press back into downward facing dog. And for downward facing dog, right leg high to the sky, breathing in. Right foot steps through between the hands, exhale. Rounding the left heel 45 degrees, square the hips forward. Bring your awareness and focus to the heart as you reach the heart forward, and then driving as you sweep the arms into the sky into Virabhadrasana 1. Our Warrior 1 position is hips square towards the front of the room. The left hip just slightly lifting and pulling forward as you draw the left hip up and forward, right hip back. Sinking down deeper into the lunge on the exhale. A little activation through the core, keep a neutral lower back, more opening through the heart and reach high. Exhale, hold. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Warrior 2 with the next exhale, swiveling the back foot, opening the hips, opening through the heart, sinking deep into warrior. Squeeze and activate through the legs, reach out through the tips of the fingers, keep your palms facing down, just the biceps rotate to the sky, you'll feel the shoulders rotating there in the shoulder socket. And then we come back into a side opening through the side of the heart with our reverse warrior, flipping the front palm, inhale, reverse warrior. So contract through the bottom side of the body, the left, to bring more opening through the right. Reach and lengthen, keep your lunge nice and deep. Inhale and exhale. Breath in, exhale. All the way back up through center. Continue to windmill your arms all the way around until the left hand comes to the floor. Right arm reaching to the sky, low lunge twist, so toe tips of your back foot here and hips squared towards the front of the room. Give the shoulders a little external rotation as you counter rotate through the hips and lift your heart high to the sky. Bring both hands down either side of the front foot. A slight bend into the left knee as you sweep the arms back up into a lunge. So from this lunge, you might like to just slightly step the back foot in to be roughly about 1 meter behind the right, hips squared to the front of the room. Prayer comes down to the heart. Lift the heart towards the prayer, hinging from the hips into Paschimottanasana, pyramid pose. So this is a straight right leg. We're bowing forward, hands either coming down to props, at blocks, or down onto the mat. Reach the heart forward towards your big toe. Focus on the squaring of the hips, pulling the left forward as you draw the right back. Leaning forward, folding all the way down. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. Using the next inhale to create a half lift through the torso, soften into your right knee. I'll bring both hands to the inside of your right foot into lizard lunge. Here we can practice a little bit of compassion in our practice, choosing the level you'd like to take your lizard lunge into. So a supported version of lizard lunge, we can lower the back knee to the mat. A little stronger is to lift the back knee off the mat. And stronger again, we can bring more activation through the legs by beginning to reach the hands all the way out into the front of the mat, coming onto the tips of the fingers. So super light through the hands, squeezing the right knee towards the side of the body, square the hips forward, keep the heart open, shoulders rolling back, and hold in this position for the next 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Breath in, exhale. We'll make our way to Malasana. That's your squatting position, hands back to the inside of the right foot. Left foot then steps to the outside of your left hand. Lower the hips, draw the knees open, squeeze the glutes, palms pressed together. As the prayer draws back, elbows collect the knees, opening through the hips a little more, and then broaden through the chest, open through collarbones, squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, hold. Breath in, lengthen. Take 2 more breaths. Last inhale, before pressing the hands down into the mat, straightening through the legs as you heel toe the feet together into your halfway lift, and then folding forward over straight legs. Rippling through each vertebrae as you rise to standing, arms sweep overhead, palms pressed, gaze to the thumbs, swan dive, arms open wide, lead with the heart all the way back into Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Hands to the mat, right leg steps back, left foot follows. High plank, where you can take this through your knees, chest and chin, or maybe Chaturanga Dandasana. So Chaturanga, heart travels forward, shoulders over fingers, elbows bend, elbows hug the side of the body. Hold and hover at your low point before even lifting into baby cobra, or flattening the tops of the feet, lifting your thighs into your upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back, pull the heart forward, press the floor away. Or meet back in downward facing dog. Option to move through child's pose along the way. From downward facing dog, left leg high to the sky, breathing in. Left foot steps through between the hands on the exhale. We're starting with Warrior 1, connecting to the earth as we ground through the feet, square the hips forward, reach the heart, and then arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, deepen into your warrior. Inhale, square the hips, engage core, shoulders back. One more breath in. Exhale. We use the next inhale to activate and reach out through fingers before transitioning to Warrior 2, hips open, arms open, deep in Warrior. Reaching out through tips of fingers, palms stay down. A little activation as you rotate the biceps to the sky, drawing shoulders back. Opening through the left side of the body with your reverse warrior. Inhale, flip and reverse. Exhale, hold. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. And hold. Up through Warrior 2, all the way around to low lunge twist. Right hand to the floor, left arm to the sky. Toe tips of the back foot, square the hips to the front of the room. You can rotate the shoulders to give your heart a little more opening, reaching high to the sky. I'll bring both hands down either side of the front foot. A slight bend in the right knee as you sweep the arms all the way up into a crescent lunge. And then from here, setting up for pyramid. Palms pressed, they come to the heart, maybe stepping your right foot in about a meter behind the left. Hips squared to the front of the room. Hinging from the hips, folding forward over a straight left leg. Breath in, heart reaching forward. On the exhale, belly button draws the spine and hinging from the hips, dropping down straight left leg. Inhale, lengthen body. Exhale, deepen. Take another 2 breaths. And then we're softening into the left knee. Both hands come to the inside of the left foot into lizard lunge. So again, the options are to drop the back knee, keep it elevated, or maybe begin to walk the hands all the way out in front of the mat. We're opening through the heart, reaching it forward, squaring the hips, squeezing the legs in towards the middle of the body, and we'll hold here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Breath in, exhale. Lean back in Vinyasa, hands to the inside of your left foot, right foot steps to the outside of the right hand, and we're sinking into our squatting position. So here we can really play into the air element with the option to float through to crow pose. If you're not taking your arm balance this morning, you can hold here in your Vinyasa, creating more activation and length through the body as the hips continue to drop. If you're traveling to crow, we'll ground the hands, fingers are spread wide. And remembering that crow is about creating balance through the body. If all of your weight stays back at the wrist, it's a lot more weight trying to come forward onto the arms. Whereas if we take that time to set up, bring the shoulders over the fingertips to begin, and then it's just a matter of floating the heels up towards the hips. We'll hold here for 3 breaths. One more inhale. If you're in your balance, gently bring the feet back down into Vinyasa. Grounding through the hands, straighten through the legs, heel toe the feet together, take a half lift. And then folding forward, exhale. To chair pose, knees bend, hips sink back, arms then sweep to the sky. In your chair, glance down, toes visible just in front of the knees. Maybe a slight tuck of the tailbone, neutral spine, shoulders back, heart lifting high, reach for fingertips, hold, inhale. Cactus arms, exhale. Arms open wide to the side of the room, breathe in. Arms come to the front of the body, palms pressed together. Inhale, back to the heart. Exhale, straighten legs, fold forward. Halfway lift. Option to flow through your Vinyasa, or step straight back to your downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, Right leg floats high to the sky. Tiger curl knee through to your chest or forehead. As you hold here for the inhale, pressing the floor away, shoulders travel forward, softly stepping right foot through between the hands. We'll start with warrior one, left heel grounds, hips squared forward. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, sink into warrior. Inhale. Transition to warrior two, exhale. Breath in, hold. Deepen warrior. Flip and reverse breath in. Exhale, hold. Here we'll mix it up a little bit. Straighten through the right leg. Reverse triangle, exhale. Hold for a breath in. Holding for the exhale. Next breath in brings you up through center into Trikonasana as you reach forward. Squeeze the glutes as you externally rotate through the legs. Right hand comes down to floor or block, or maybe resting on the right shin. Left arm can float to the sky. The same as your low lunge twist, we can give the shoulders a little external rotation to lift the heart to the sky. Create equal length through the left and right side of the body as you reach your torso towards the front of the room. Active through the legs as they press down into the mat. Take another breath in and exhale. Last inhale. Legs stay in the same shape. Left hand comes down to the inside of your right foot. From here, there's a little swivel of the hips and the back foot to square the hips to the front of the room. Left hand now grounds. Right arm floats to the sky into a revolved triangle. Hold here for 3 breaths in and out. Last inhale. As both hands come to the inside of the right foot, bending into your right knee. So a few options from here. We can come back to lizard as you did on the first round through. You can reach the arms out in front or even work down onto your forearms. If you'd like to take that into an arm balance, there's also Vinyasa 2. And for Vinyasa 2, we'll float right leg high to the sky just to give yourself a little more space as we bring it onto the back of the right tricep. Shift the balance through to the hands, extend out through the legs. In any variation of the posture, whether you're in your lizard lunge or your Vinyasa, they're all the same engagements through the body. So elbows draw in, heart lifting forward. We'll hold 3 breaths. And 2. And 1. From here, the left foot grounds. If it was floating, send your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Step your right foot through between the hands. Left foot then follows into a halfway lift. Following forward on your exhale. And chair pose, knees bend, arms sweep to the sky. Sink the chair deeper and reach up higher. Deepen chair, lengthen body. Cactus arms, sweep them wide. They come forward and press together. Inhale to the heart. Exhale, folding forward, straight legs. Half lift. The option to move through your flow, straight back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, left leg high to the sky. Tiger curl, knee through, exhale. Holding for the breath in to press. Lightly stepping left foot through between the hands. Back heel grounds, hips square forward, Virabhadrasana 1, inhale. Sinking into the lunge on your exhale. Next breath in, reach through fingers. Warrior 2, exhale, open. Breath in. Exhale. Flip and reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale. Straighten left leg, inhale. 2 breaths, exhale. Hold for the inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straight legs. Bring the torso through center to your Trikonasana. Left hand to the floor, block or shin, as your right arm extends high to the sky. Maybe that little squeeze, external rotation through the shoulders. Lengthening through the body, holding here, breathing in, and exhale. 2 more breaths in Trikonasana. From here, the right hand melts down towards the mat. The hips just slightly swivel to point forward as the back toe maybe takes a 45-degree angle. Then we can float left arm high to the sky. And soften into the left knee, both hands to the inside of your left foot. Back into the lizard lunge, where it's either the knee down, the hands ground, walking them forward, or forearms. And if the arm balance is there this morning, then we can take left leg high to the sky, bring it to the outside of the left tricep as we float through both legs. 3 breaths, heart lifting forward, elbows squeeze in. 2, and 1. So if you're floating, right foot comes down, send your left leg high to the sky, both feet into downward facing dog, knees lower to the mat, knees squeeze together, hips back to the heels and arms back in line with your feet. 3 breaths in a child's pose. We're tuning in with the breath. So our heart, the element of air through the body, the heart region or anahata, your heart chakra, also governs the lungs, your respiratory system. It's always important to stay in contact, connection, and monitor your breath. Sweep the arms forward, fingers spread wide, toes tucked into downward facing dog. Right leg high to the sky. This time square up through the shoulders, begin to open through the hips. Bending the right heel in towards the glutes, lift the knee high as you inhale, squeeze it entirely to the glutes on the exhale, and continue to square through the shoulders. Hold for a breath in, holding for the exhale. Inhale, straighten the right leg, hips stay open. Exhale, knee draws through to the chest or forehead. Hold, stepping down between the hands. Left knee lowers to the mat, toes are tucked, arms sweep to the sky. Palms press together, prayer lowers to heart. We take a twist over the right leg. So 2 options, we can take a gentle twist with the hand on the knee and the right hand on the hips. Otherwise, a little deeper would be the tricep to thigh. Belly button draws in. Drive the palms together, lift your sternum towards the prayer, and right elbows high to the sky. If you'd like to add a little bit more of a challenge for your balance, tucking the left toes, lifting the left knee. And if you'd like to open and expand through the arms, we spread the wings wide. Notice how the breath changes in a twist, particularly if you're moving deeper into the twist. And allowing the capacity to sit at whatever range is available, but the duration or the length of the breath is still the same. Nice and slow, even counts in and out. Now if your arms are open, palms press back together. Bring the prayer to the heart as you lift yourself up through center. And then we'll swivel to the left long side of the mat, straightening through the legs. Take your heels wider than the toes. Open arms wide. Garudasana arms, weaving the left arm underneath the right. The bigger you take this circle, the more bind you can create through the arms. And then options would be hands to shoulders, maybe the backs of the hands touch, or the palms can connect. Elbows then start to drive high to the sky as you draw your shoulders back, reach up through tips of fingers. Double check that your heels are wider than the toes as you internally rotate through the legs. Lengthen the body, hinging from the hips, wide legs standing forward fold with eagle arms. As you enter the forward fold, long neutral spine,
and continue to reach the fingertips forward until they perhaps come down to meet the earth. And then even weight through the feet, drive the hips forward, lifting yourself all the way back up to standing.
Arms stay bound, swivel back towards the front of the mat. Lower the left knee, toes stay tucked. Holding here at center or belly button draws the spine. Reach through the fingers, draw a line across the ceiling. It can lead you into a heart opener. Engaging through the core. Returning through center. Right now the right knee has quite a deep bend in it. We'll keep it relatively similar shape as you come through to Garudasana. We're going to weave the left leg up and over the right. Either the toes touch down for support or the toes wrap around the back of the calf as we sink the hips back into eagle pose. So as we drop down deeper into the squat through the legs, we're going to reach the arms high to the sky through tips of fingers. Draw the shoulders back, open through the heart. Set your drishti, that one point of focus, holding for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Then, exhale. We're going to keep the arms bound. Unravel through the legs, left knee draws to the chest. Virabhadrasana 3, left leg floats back into the balance. Continue to reach the fingers forward as you press out through the back foot. We're feeling into the air, the negative space around the body as we unravel the arms, open them up wide to the sides of the room, and then into aeroplane pose, Dekasana, hands reaching towards the back foot. Hands can be used to assist you as we lower to a seated position into Gomukhasana. We're taking the left knee to the outside of the right foot. We'll gently begin to lower the sit bones, so hips or sit bones coming to sit down between the heels of the feet, and the right knee will be stacked on top of the left. So after we've done all that binding through the front of the body, we're going to give the front of the body opening and a little bind through the back. Gomukhasana arms. Take the right arm up and overhead and bring the right hand roughly to between your shoulders. Then the left hand comes up on top of the right elbow and we begin to open the shoulders and pull them back, lift the heart forward. Now if you have the ability to take a full bind here, the left hand can release and come up behind the back until the fingers bind. If the bind isn't there, just keep it on the right elbow and we'll keep drawing the shoulders back and open through the heart. You might prefer to stay seated upright here, or we can bow forward, hinging from the hips over the legs. And all the way back up to a seated position, unravel the arms. One of my favorite transitions is to do a full 360 on your mat into a cross-legged forward fold. It always sounds a little bit trickier than what it actually ends up being. So to demonstrate, walking my hands around the left side of the mat, and I'm just going to swivel on the feet until I'm back at the front of the mat with the right leg behind the left. And as always, if the transition doesn't work, just come to the front of the mat, the right leg's behind the left leg, and we'll fold them forward. Exhale. We'll hold here for the next 2 breaths. Just slightly shuffle the left foot to the middle of the mat and slide your right leg all the way to the back, lowering the knee, keeping the toes tucked, and we'll sweep the arms high to the sky. Palms press together, prayer comes to heart. We'll lift heart towards prayer. Taking our twist over towards the left side. So it's either the right hand to the knee, left hand to the back of the hips, or palms pressed together, tricep to the thigh, belly button draws in, left elbow high to the sky. Counter rotate through the hips. Draw the belly button in, adding the balance if you'd like, tucking the right toes, lifting the back knee. And once you're in your twist, if you want to take that a little further with the opening wings, spreading your arms wide. If the arms are open wide, palms pressed together at heart. Inhale through center, prayer to the heart. And then we'll swivel all the way open to the long edge of your mat. Heels slightly wider than your toes. Opening the arms wide. And this time the right arm weaves underneath the left. Big sweep through the arms into your Garudasana bind. Your choice of whether that's hands to shoulders, backs of the hands together, or palms. Take the heels that little bit wider, reach fingertips high to the sky, draw your shoulders back, and then hinging from the hips, and we'll fold forward on the exhale. Driving the hips forward as you come all the way back up to standing. We'll swivel to face back towards the front of the room, lowering the right knee to the floor. And then the optional heart opening here, belly button draws in, trace a line through the ceiling as you guide yourself into your heart opener. Turning through center and into Garudasana. Left leg stays bent. Right leg binds up and over the top. To your level, toes down for support or maybe the full bind. Elbows high, shoulders draw back. Take the squat deeper through the legs. 4 breaths. Arms stay bound, legs unravel, right knee to chest. Virabhadrasana 3, floating right leg back as we hinge at the hips into our standing balance. Continue to reach arms forward as you press out through your back foot. Unravel arms, spread them wide towards the sides of the room. Dekasana, arms reach towards the back foot. Gomukhasana, cow face pose. This time it's the right knee to the outside of the left foot. Sit bones lower to the mat, sitting down between the heels. Once you're seated, taking the left arm to the sky. Hand comes down between the shoulders. Right hand on top of your left elbow. Shoulders draw back, spine lengthens. If you'd like to play with that bind on this side, the right hand can reach under, otherwise keeping it on top of your left elbow, with the option then to hinge from the hips and fold forward. Take it all the way back up to stand, seated. Arms unravel. Cross legs forward fold. This time the hands walk around the right. We'll swivel around to the feet all the way until the left leg passes behind the right at the front of the mat, folding forward.
lengthen through the spine. We'll slide the left leg all the way to the back of the mat. The right foot then follows into downward facing dog. We'll lower the knees to the mat. Toes stay tucked, hands walking back, maybe doubling up the mat for that little extra padding underneath the knees into Ustrasana, camel pose. Hands onto the backs of the hips, rolling the shoulders back. So we're opening through the heart and also lifting it up towards the sky. Lengthen through the body as we start to extend through the spine. Hips drive forward, belly button draws in, shoulders continue to roll back, heart lifting higher, and then bouncing between those points through the body. Hips forward, belly button in, shoulders back, maybe the head begins to roll back, lift and gaze. Use your legs here to kick them into the mat, bring yourself upright. We'll give the wrist a release. So if it's comfortable for you to take the backs of the hands to the mat, fingernails pointing down, we'll press the backs of the hands in to bring some weighted flexion through the wrist. If that's a little bit too strong, then instead you can just take fists to the floor and you can roll from the knuckles to the thumbs and then all the way back to the pinky finger. We'll take one more round of Ustrasana. So you might prefer to take your second round with the tops of the feet flattened, and we'll start with the hands on the backs of the hips. Lengthen through the body, hips drive forward, belly button draws in, shoulders squeezing back, lifting the gaze. If you'd like to move a little deeper, one hand at a time, you can release back and take hold of the heels as the hips keep driving forward. Hands are on the heels. One at a time comes back onto the hips. Use the legs to kick yourself all the way back to kneeling, and that nice release through the wrist as the hands come back down to the mat. So your preference again, back to the hands or knuckles as you give yourself a little roll. We'll also give the lower back and the entire back a little counter stretch with a closed knee child's pose, bringing the legs together to touch. Hips back to the heels, arms reaching back in line with your feet. All the way back up to a seated position. We'll sweep the feet out from under the body, extending them out along the mat. Bending the knees, feet flat to the floor, reaching forward, belly button to spine, rolling back through the vertebrae with control, all the way onto the back. We'll take another back bend here in bridge, feet walking that a little bit closer that you can just gently brush the backs of the heels with your fingertips. Feet and knees hip width distance apart. Core is engaged with a slight drawing in of the navel. As the hips begin to rise on the inhale, scoot through the tailbone, up through each vertebrae, all the way to the shoulders, where the shoulders begin to walk closer together and away from your ears. Just as you did with camel, we can bounce between the different points of the body as the hips continue to rise. The core remains engaged and the shoulders draw back, a little extra opening through your thoracic spine. Sternum lifting up towards the chin, the gaze lifting, drawing across the ceiling. Hands can plant down beside the body, or you might like to interlace the fingers, bring the palms together to touch, and press the fists down into the mat. We'll hold for 2 more breaths. With this last inhale, hands release if they're interlaced. And on the exhale, all together, rolling through each of the vertebrae, hips returning to the earth. Once the hips touch down, walk your feet as wide as the side of the mat, and we'll bring a little windscreen wiping motion through the knees from left to right. Knees stopping at center, with the sacrum and lower back flat to the floor. We just draw the knees into the point where there's no lift through the body, and we can squeeze and press ourselves evenly through the whole back of the body. And we'll take a figure 4 or eye of the needle here. Right foot comes down to the floor, knee stays bent, left ankle crossing over the top of your right thigh. So the left toes are drawing back towards the knee to engage and support your knee and shin. From there, shoulders stay anchored back to the earth. Either take hold of the back of your right thigh or maybe all the way through to the shin, drawing the knees into chest. You can add that little extra hip opener by gently pressing left elbow into your inner thigh. And then we'll release the right shin. Into your twist, either unravel and squeeze the knees together over towards the right, or keep that bind through your legs, maybe even wrapping the foot behind the calf. Lift the hips over to the left side of the mat as you lower your knees towards the right. So shoulders stay evenly anchored into the earth, belly button draws to the spine as your knees drop over to the side. Bring the legs back through center. If they're in a bind, unravel. Left foot anchors to the floor, right foot crossing over the thigh, toes turning back, and taking your figure 4 on the second side. Shoulders anchoring to the earth, either taking hold of the back of the left thigh, or maybe through to your shin. You can gently press the right elbow to your inner thigh to increase the hip opening, melting the entire upper body into the earth. As you take this into your twist, we'll bring the left foot down, unravel the legs, or to continue to bind them into your eagle bind. This time the hips shift towards the right as you lower your knees to the left. Knees return through center, legs unravel, straighten the legs out into your final resting shape, your Shavasana, arms resting by your side with the palms turned up. allowing yourself to maintain that stillness of your Shavasana as you just become aware of the flow of air into your body as you feel and stimulate into your heart space. Inhaling through your nose, through your throat, all the way filling, active and expands, chest inflates. And then perhaps the body gets a little heavier and sinks back into the earth as you exhale. Next inhale, tracing the line from your heart through your heart meridian all the way down the inside seams of the arms to your pinky finger as movement starts to return through your fingers. And then exhale, releasing the breath. The next inhale travels the opposite direction all the way down to the toe tips as your toes begin to wriggle. And exhale. Moving through arms and legs as the toes point and your arms extend overhead, full body stretch. Inhale. Sighing through an open mouth, release. Feel your knees, and as we hug into the chest, squeeze and rock from side to side. We're eventually rolling over onto your right side. Here we'll hold, bringing the right hand back to rest on the heart, then the left hand over the top. 2 breaths. And slowly making your way up into a seated position. Lengthen through the spine as your shoulders roll back. Sweep the arms open wide overhead, pressing your palms together. And bringing your prayer through your third eye, across your throat, to rest at the heart. Holding there for the inhale, and bowing forward on your exhale. Now thank you for joining for this class. And we say to ourselves and each other, Namaste.